what is up, you fucks? We are back with another edition of the Doom Scroll Cast with me, Lord Botha. If you are not familiar with the show, this is a pop culture entertainment show where we talk about some of the latest news in video games, TV, movies, etc. Stuff that is out there. We got a bunch of bookmarks saved here on the good old Twitter, and we go through the latest stories that are out there in all those fields. And then at the end of the show, we do what we call the Doom Scroll or the Doom Scroll. And the Doom Scroll is I literally just raw dog Twitter. I open Twitter and we scroll through it. I don't usually get a lot of spicy content, a lot of naughty stuff on my timeline, because interestingly enough, when you don't interact with that stuff, you don't get a lot of it on your main. Funny enough, I haven't come across anything that's gotten me in trouble yet. So we're just going to keep doing that, all right? Yeah. But we got a lot of topics to talk about today. We got PlayStation news, PlayStation prices. We got the component costs for PlayStation. And if all this is true, PlayStation prices are going to be out of control. Absolutely out of control. We got some Xbox news. It is a bloodbath at Xbox. It is a bloodbath at Xbox. And you know what? I'm here for it. We're going to talk about all the studios that Asha Sharma and Xbox are axing, and why it's actually kind of a good thing. We're going to talk about that. And what else we could talk about? We're going to talk about Supergirl. Because Supergirl is out. It is dog shit. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, corporate show critics included, YouTube show critics included, are out there calling this movie dog shit. It is unquestionable dog shit. The number of people that are willing to out and out shill for franchise superhero movies anymore is getting narrower and narrower. It is becoming smaller and smaller. People just do not. They don't find it worthy enough to take the money, because most of these guys are paid, to go out there and shill for these movies. And Supergirl is definitely one of those, and it's being universally panned. And the numbers have come in for Supergirl, and they're not good. We also got some smaller stories that we might go through, some things we might look at. We might make fun of some people that need to be made fun of. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of this stuff. So, let's start with Supergirl. Actually, that would be a good place to start. I just put a video out about this, so if you see the video, you might have heard some of this stuff already. But we're gonna start here. Let's boost this up. Boom, boom, there. Okay, so I can close some of these tabs. You see my Asha Sharma. This is the thumbnail center where we make all the fucking thumbnails, because no AI. Well, there's some AI. The Asha Sharma holding the axe is kind of AI, but it's all me putting it together thumbnails. All original stuff here. But we're going to take a look here. So, Supergirl's been released, right? Opening weekend, big debut, all of that. And already it's vanishing like a fart in the wind. Because, as Discussing Film states here, Supergirl opens with $38 million domestically. Lower opening than Morbius, The Marvels, and it's even lower than The Flash. And worldwide, this film, let's see if I can find fucking hell, I went back from my fucking bookmarks. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Culture Crave posted this. Yeah, lower than Flash. $68 million globally. $68 million globally. Oh, fuck. I gotta turn that off. Because it's gonna come through twice. But yeah, $68 million globally. $170 million production budget. By the way, this $170 million, this is like tentative. Because there's also speculation that this $170 is actually more like $200 million. Which means that it's $68 million and $170 million. First of all, it was Box Office Mojo is reporting $62 million right now, but maybe it hasn't been updated yet. $68 million worldwide at 170, probably closer to 200 million, which is the same budget as Masters of the Universe. And Supergirl has made about $14 million more than Masters of the Universe. And Masters of the Universe is being considered. Even though I liked the movie, I thought it was good, I thought it was worthy of your time. You should go out and actually see it in theaters. But Masters of the Universe is being considered one of the worst flops of all time. Of like film all time. Not just superhero movies. In terms of money it's made versus the budget, right? Production budget, all that. And everything added on. This movie is just literally a hair's length above it. This movie is going to struggle to get between $200 and $250 million. I think it's going to struggle to get to 2. This is absolute disaster. This is...
Damn!
What the hell is even that?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
It's that level of disaster. I don't know where you, like... This is typically the kind of disaster that used to get people fired. But with these giant cinematic universes, they try to write off as like, oh, well, this is just one film. It's an aberration. Like, we're going to build off of it. But they tried to do the same kind of cope. They tried to do the same kind of cope with the first with Superman, right? Superman 2025. James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn. And because the cope on that was, hey, it barely broke even, probably actually lost money, lost a little bit of money, but hey, it lost a little money, but it's the first movie in the universe, so we're gonna build momentum off of it. Momentum's not being built, and a little bit has to do with the fact that you went straight from Superman to fucking Peacemaker, which is a leftover character from a different version of DC's universe that Gunn liked from Snyder and decided to just bring in because he's buddies with John Cena or whatever. And then we went from that, which was edgy leftist bullshit, to Supergirl. And who is clamoring for a Supergirl movie? I'm sorry. Supergirl was never like a main draw character. Like, she had a fandom, yeah. But like, listen. If normies aren't going to clamor to see this film, if they can't be sold on this film, then you don't stand a chance, okay? It's that kind of film. Like, it has to be normie friendly. There are certain comic book characters that if you just get the fans in and the word of mouth spreads because it's good from the fans, it'll work. This is not one of those cases. It has to appeal to the normies. And it just isn't. It's not going to make its budget back. And like there's certain like we're going to talk about this fuck in just a second. But there's certain other bad signs. Where is it? So, Chris Gore posted this. On Monday at an AMC theater, I witnessed a worker taking apart the Supergirl standee to put the remains in the trash. This is after the first weekend. Shout out to our boy Chris Gore, by the way. Getting back shots of this female employee here. Just trying to keep her face out, but yeah, this is bad. Like this is very bad that they're taking down the big obvious promotional work for the film. And there'll be some people like, oh well, the film is in theaters now. People shouldn't have. Yeah, but when's the last time you saw them taking the promotional down after the first week of the movie being out? They at least wait till the second week, right? Second weekend. But it doesn't really matter because this movie got smoked by Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5. Which I think made like $70 million or whatever in its second weekend. It's going to make $1 billion. So it premiered at number 2. Didn't even crack the number 1 spot. I'm telling you, man, this movie is fucked. There is no momentum going into Man of Tomorrow. Just nobody actually cares. It's not going to do anything. And then, like, where was it? You have fucks like this. Bradley Osborne. Now, if you take a look at this dude's profile, it's basically, like, very safe to, like, kind of shillish, like, posts. Right? Almost bot feeling. You know, bot adjacent count. But he states here, I should watch Supergirl for the 4th time? Sure, why not? And he has this ticket here. He has this ticket. His virtue signaling, right? I'm supporting the movie. I'm supporting the movie, guys. Can't you tell how well I'm supporting the movie? And then if you look at his ticket here, I got there's still time for you to delete this. I'm shocked that this dude did not delete it. I wrote it right there. You can see it. I'm surprised I didn't click on this post and get the "there's nothing to see here yet" message. Because, like, who would do this? Who would... This is... Exposed. Fucking retarded. Exposed. Absolutely retarded. Hiya. You should be embarrassed. And you got this. You got fucking Angry Joe. Angry Joe is out there crashing out about how Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and the rest of those chuckle fucks were right about this movie. 1000% right about this movie. And he gave it a 4 out of 10. Angry Joe gave the movie a 4 out of 10. He doesn't even like the movie, even though he begged people to go see it. And he's still crashing out about the movie. He's still crashing out about these guys. Even though they hold the same opinion, which is the movie is shit. With its fucking pussy cup here. I just see. Also, like, apparently the film has one of the worst needle drops of all time. Apparently, this is like inserting like pop music into movies level of like live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's what James Gunn has done here, because he inserted a song to the end of this movie that just stylistically does not fit whatsoever. Like, Like, it's up in the club in the Sopranos level of like doesn't make sense or fit the situation. Like, it's comedic levels of like this doesn't go here. It's The Room levels of what are we doing here? But yeah, belief in the DCU is at an all-time low. Let me just put you that, boys. And don't forget, James Gunn is on a he and Peter Safran are on a multi-month extension that ends right about when Man of Tomorrow is supposed to drop next year. They are the only ones under the Warner Brothers deal with Paramount that are multi-month extensions. Everybody else is multi-year extensions, which tells me that there is an off-ramp for these guys. It tells me that at the end of all this, at the end of Man of Tomorrow, James Gunn is out of here. Peter Safran is probably out of here too. And DC is going to get rebooted again. I don't think they're going to do live action right away. I think live action is going to be canned. And to be honest, it needs to be canned. If they're smart, they will can it. And they'll go back to doing what they were doing well before, which is animation. And they're still doing well for the most part today, which is animation. Do animation. You have an entirely new generation of fans come up and actually care about these characters. And then maybe we can talk about live action again. But as of right now, people are burned out on superheroes to begin with. They're definitely burned out on getting failed DC iterations numerous times now. It's Supergirl. Who in their right mind would think Supergirl is a good second movie, right? Not a Green Lantern movie, not a Batman movie, the obvious one to me, not a Wonder Woman movie. I did see somebody say that this movie had to be better than Wonder Woman just because like Millie Alcock can act and Gal Gadot can't. First off, I'm not fully convinced that Millie Alcock does a good job in this movie, even though she did a good job things like House of the Dragon. And secondly, Wonder Woman, from all accounts, was a good movie. Wonder Woman 1984, not so much, from what I hear. Gal Gadot definitely can't act, though. By the way, that's how like hot Gal Gadot was. Gal Gadot was so hot that she couldn't act in multiple movies, and none of us noticed. None of us even noticed. Like, what happened to us? Anyway, Supergirl's done, guys. VOD, 3 weeks. 3 weeks VOD. And then it'll be over, man. It'll be totally fucking over. Let's go back here. Let's talk about... You know what? Let's real quickly. Let's do a little rant on this. So, discussing film states here. First look at Reacher spinoff, Neegly, releasing September 16th on Prime Video.
Exposed. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
I can't tell you how little shit I give about this. First off, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm not a fan of Reacher. I know that. I know that's
exposed.
But I'm
exposed.
I'm just not. I saw the first season. I was like, it's okay. Like, if this was released in 2020, like when we were in the pandemic and we were literally starving for good content, like I probably would have liked this more, but it's not great. Like it's just not. It's very one note. You know what Reacher is? Reacher's like well cooked pork chops and mashed potatoes. Like it's filling. It's a good meal, but it's like I'm not gonna order it at the restaurant, you know? Like I'm not like it's not sexy. It's kind of dull. Like it's just not something that like you necessarily want. Like it's okay. Like I'm not a fan of Reacher. I really not. I watched season 1. I didn't watch season 2. I'm not gonna watch any subsequent seasons. And I do know enough that like this woman Neagley that they're doing a spin-off show of is like his former like a former person he worked with in the military. She's also like special ops or whatever, and I think she's like a lawyer or something now or something like that. Or she's a diverse female who's high up still within the government that can like get him access or knowledge or provide him support in some way that he needs it. And I could not give a shit about this. First off, if she wasn't a diverse female, she was just some white dude, middle-aged white dude, I still wouldn't want to see this series because I don't want to see. Listen, there used to be a show like it was called Pennyworth or something like that, and it was about Alfred, right? And it was like young Alfred from Batman as like an MI6 agent or whatever. And that was kind of cool. Good sell on that. But if they made a movie about Alfred during the Batman days as supporting a Batman and just what the fuck Alfred was doing in his meantime, I wouldn't want to watch that. And like this is like making a series about Reacher's Alfred. Who wants to see this? Also a fitting Batman analogy because Alan Ritchson, I think is his name, the guy who plays Reacher, like really wants to play Batman. Unfortunately, he's not going to play Batman because he's not spindly and like feminine adjacent enough for James Gunn to want him to play Batman. He's too big and definitely has rage problems. If you ever saw some of the videos out there he has with his feud with his neighbor. So Jack of all casuals is here. We all know Lord Botha wants the circumcised cup. The what? Circumcised what? Dick skin. I don't want no dick skin. What are you talking about? Like all streaming shows, first season is good, okay. After that, goes downhill. I mean, yeah. The thing is that like, I kept waiting for it to like turn. I was like, do something, get good, and then it relied on. I feel like it relied on eventually characters just acting retarded, like. It relied on like Reacher like acting retarded, or like the bad guys acting retarded. Like it did. It wasn't anything that really like oh, I needed to see that. It just kind of exists. It's one of those shows that, I don't know, a decade ago when we had good TV, wouldn't have made it. But now that we do, like, or we have had good TV, or we're in a drought of good TV, like, it's getting more to... I kind of feel the same way about, like, One Piece, if I'm being real honest. One Piece live action, I remember fucking loving the show when it came out in, like, 2020. But I honestly think that being so starved for good content back then added to that, right? Like, it's good. It's decent. And season 2 is okay. I honestly actually never finished season 2. I need to go back and finish it. But it's not like a masterpiece, and it's not great. And like Oda has basically came out and said that he made the live action show literally just to fund people into the anime and manga. Like, that's it. First comment is a reference to Supergirl's cup at an angle. It looks like circumcised. See, to me, it kind of looks like a pocket pussy, if I'm being honest. But that's just because I'm not gay. Except for femboys. Okay? Let's get that straight. Sort of. Any live action anime is dog shit in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Some animes you could make a live action. So, like, I'm a fan of Spy Family. And like I think it's a great show. I think it's an amazing fucking anime. It's not going to be like it. Spy Family is one of those animes that, like, I'm talking to somebody who's an absolute normie and I'm trying to get them into anime, I'm like, watch Spy Family. It's very Western, like, media, like, agreeable. It's easy to go into that and understand and like it and all that. There are anime tropes, of course, but, like, it's very easy to consume if you've never consumed anime before. And it's good storytelling, good writing, and the characters are all very interesting and compelling. That is an anime. Spy Family is an anime that you could do in live action. You could do that well. Now, a show like oh gosh, why is the name just flown out of my head? I have to. The autism is kicking in. I need to look this up. What is it? What is it? Fucking hell. Why am I blanking on this? God. Why am I blanking on this? Fuck, what is it called? Oh gosh. Why am I blanking on this? It's not My Hero. It's fucking Solo Leveling. That's it. I don't know why that was so fucking I don't know why that was so fucking hard to remember. But yeah, like an anime like Solo Leveling, like that's supposed to be being made into a live action. I don't know how fucking they're going to do that. And Netflix is doing that. I don't know how you fucking do Solo Leveling as a live action show. Because some of the shit they do in that show is fucking ridiculous. I've seen like one episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I know, like, you could never do that show as a live action show. Like, it's damn near impossible. But they're going to do them because they're popular. So, like, some animes can be adapted, some can't. But yeah. Also, regarding, like, this actual topic here, like the Neegly spinoff, it's kind of wild that Amazon is giving us a spinoff about the diverse female who runs support for Jack Reacher, but won't give us a fucking Stargate show. Make that make sense. Make it make sense that Amazon is like, no, we can't do Stargate with the original guys who did the show because it will appeal to fans of the show too much.
What the hell is even that?
What the fuck are you talking about? Because they say that we can't do Stargate because it will appeal to fans of the show too much. And we won't get new audience. But you know what will drive the new audience in? A spin-off from Reacher about his diverse female work companion. Yes. It's so fucking stupid, man. I don't know why you would do this. I don't know why you would do that. Let's talk about... Fuck it. Let's make fun of PlayStation. Because PlayStation... So, PlayStation fanboys like to talk a lot of shit, man. But in reality, it's just as bad for them as everyone else. So, you guys may remember, Steam Machine, just this past week, was announced its price. Is high end $14.28, bottom end is $10.50. You know, basically the price of the Steam Deck, which they also recently just jumped the price by like $300. Let's not forget that happened. Xbox just increased their consoles by $100 to $150 again, third time in 2 years. And they completely discontinued the Xbox Series X 2TB model because, let's be honest, they know and we know that there is such a small market for a 2TB Xbox Series X, which is dated hardware at this point, and they were going to have to increase the price on it so much that it wouldn't have been worth making them in bulk. And that's the only way they could probably get it cheap enough to justify making them. And what would happen is those 2TB models would just sit in their storage and never sell, and they would be fucked. They would be out that money. So they decided not to do that and just cancel. Asinine, retarded, like circumstance that is created by Xbox themselves. The previous generation, previous administration, I should say, that the new administration is fixing with a hard choice. And you're getting a lot of that from Xbox now, by the way. We'll talk about that in the Xbox segment, where you have a lot of dog shit decisions that were made by the previous administration that now the new administration is having to clean up by doing hard choices. Which I think Asha Sharma, that's what she was alluding to a lot in her memos. We might actually open that Xbox Wire memo. Because that's, I don't know if you guys have seen the video for that, but it's fucking wild. But PlayStation is not immune to this. Because as you can see right here from Tom Henderson, that's Insider Gaming, he states that the PlayStation 6 reportedly already costs $960 in materials to manufacture.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Okay.
Just take a loan to buy the consoles, jack of all casuals. You know what? Fuck it. Let's... One minute. Give me 1 minute. No, this is not what I want. I want to go to the actual Xbox account. Or I might be actually... I wonder if I can... No. This is the one. Okay. Brother, honey, you got a big storm coming. Let's minimize me a little bit here so you can see this. Okay. This is from Xbox Wire, right? They're talking about the whole like increasing the prices of their consoles, all that. This part here. Unfortunately, console storage and memory prices have increased by 2.5 times, and we expect another doubling by fall of 2027. The entire consumer electronics industry is struggling with the current component crisis, but the effects are particularly hard on consoles. Unlike phones, computers, speakers, and other consumer devices, consoles are typically not sold at a profit, but instead for a loss for less than they cost to make. Today, we are also sharing programs to make Xbox consoles more accessible. Buy now, pay later. We've made it easier for players to use buy now, pay later options on eligible Xbox hardware purchases through Microsoft stores, making it possible to break up your payments into predictable short-term interest-free installments. So it's reverse layaway for your console, for buying your console. But wait, it gets better. Interest-free financing. We are working with partners to let players purchase eligible Xbox hardware at 0% APR financing for up to 12 months, giving players more flexibility with lower monthly payments and more budgeting control. Brother, just take a loan to buy the consoles? You ain't just whistling fucking Dixie. They literally have a flyer on Xbox Wire where they're announcing the console increase prices, by the way. Their last post, right? They literally have a flyer in there that's like, hey guys, want to have a loan to pick up the Xbox?
What the hell is even that?
We're so fucked, guys. We are now at a point where the publisher companies, the actual makers of the consoles, are realizing, hey, you might need to take a loan out to afford the next console. You might need to take a loan to afford the next device. Keep in mind, Microsoft, from what they said and what Xbox said, is they were shooting for $1,000 as the price for the Project Helix. That ain't fucking happening. That ain't fucking happening. Steam Machine, the high-end Steam Machine, is $1,428. Ain't no fucking way Project Helix, which is gonna have better components, the top-end components of all three that are gonna make consoles that come out next year, ain't no fucking way a Project Helix is going to be $1,000. But this continues, by the way. Previously played consoles. We are working with retail partners on new programs to provide previously played consoles at lower prices. Players who are ready to upgrade or no longer use their console will be able to trade it in with participating retailers for cash or store credit. Those consoles will then be made available at lower prices. This fucking means GameStop. GameStop is back, baby. Fucking GameStop. Fucking GameStop is back.
Me bomba!
Gotcha, bitch!
Because when they mean partner of retailers, that means that people are going to trade their old Xboxes, their old Series S's in, that they don't want anymore, to fucking GameStop for store credit, right? And then GameStop's going to turn around and sell those Xboxes to new fucking suckers. Somewhere there has to be GameStop executives that were a part of this that have to be like, you couldn't live with your failure. And where has that brought you? Back to me. Because it's so fucking wild. And also this right, certified refurbished consoles. Xbox certified refurbished consoles are available at Microsoft stores for up to US $100 off MSRP. This is basically doing the same exact fucking thing as this, but through Microsoft and Xbox directly. So yeah. So when we say, oh, take out a loan, brother, you have no idea how close you are to the reality. But PlayStation is getting some of that as well. Why? PlayStation is not immune because their components, as Tom Henderson says here, the PlayStation 6 reportedly already costs $960 in materials to manufacture. So just in the components, just in the hardware that goes into the hardware, that goes into the plastic box, it's $960. Which means that just in materials alone, if PlayStation decided to sell the PS6 at $1,000, they'd make $40 on every unit sold. That's not enough. Yeah. PlayStation, and here's the thing. Because some people are going to be like, oh, well, they're going to sell it at a loss, because consoles, we talked about it earlier, right? Well, consoles are sold as a loss, right? Well, funny thing about that, from Tom Henderson, again, Sony says it won't sell hardware at a significant loss as PS6 costing $1,000 rumors continue. It's dead. It's so dead, boys. So Sony is admitting here that, or at least if the rumors are to be assumed as true, and there's no reason really to say they're not, seems fairly accurate given the hardware that's supposed to be in the PS6. But the PS6 component-wise, just the materials, $960. Sony already says they're not going to sell it at a loss. That means we're going to get $1,200 PlayStation 6. A $1,200 PlayStation 6. And that's being conservative. PlayStation 6 might cost more than a Steam machine. Especially at the high end. I wouldn't be surprised if the Project Helix sniffs $2,000 on the high end. That's fucking insane. And anybody out there who's being like, oh, well, inflation. No, it's not inflation. And it's not just fucking AI driving up the components costs. It's the fact that inflation is happening and AI is driving up the components costs. And these motherfuckers don't want to lose their fucking margins. And anybody who's like, oh, well, they took a loss on consoles before. Yeah, that's what they say. And also, clearly, they're not taking losses now. They're admitting that they're not taking losses now. And as such, we got to take out loans to afford the next consoles. And what this all means, by the way, at a meta level, is that you're going to have stagnation when it comes to innovating technologies in the gaming sphere. Because why would I put focus on getting better experiences, creating new engines, creating new and better ways to present gaming, even if that ends up being ugly shit like DLSS 6. All that is going to slow down and come to a screeching halt, because why make those things and try to upgrade and try to push the limits and innovate if the hardware that's going to be needed to be made on, no one can afford it. Ultimately, that's what's going to cause the crash, is that they're going to price themselves out of existence. And PlayStation is not immune, as we're seeing here. So they can talk all their shit on Xbox if they want. PlayStation is still in the same fucking boat. So, there's that. Let's see here. All right. My Xbox bookmarks are all the fuck everywhere. So it's going to be difficult to get to all the... And you know what's wild? All this comes to on the back of Sony. From Shinobi 602, Sony says it will continue pursuing live service games despite challenges. We believe that live service games are content that attracts users on a global level. So we want to continue to revitalize the market through both first-party and third-party content, said Sony Interactive Entertainment President Hideki Nishino, whose actual title should be Resident Fucking Retard, because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, he continues, with live service games, it's important to continuously provide something. Yeah, and they don't do it. It's just the same shit over and over again. The genre itself is relatively new. MMOs have existed since the 90s. Since like 97. And competitive online service games that use like Game Pass, like Battle Pass models, those are recent. Game farms are recent. That's what those are. Games that farm the gamers. Gamers are the cash crop in that scenario. But the genre itself is not massively new. And like, so by the way, what are we doing? Are we revitalizing the market, or is the market relatively new? Pick a fucking lane. It can't be new, but also be something that needs revitalizing. And he continues. And I think many people are trying various things, so we also want to continue to take on challenges within that context. Listen, my brother in Christ, people don't want to play. They don't want to play live service games because they don't have time to play live service games. Creating niche fucking live service games like the Horizon live service game that it's like Hunter's Gathering, I think is the title of it. I'm honestly shocked I fucking remember that name, but because it's the most forgettable fucking name for one of the most forgettable live service games that's ever going to exist. Like, that is a niche game market to a niche audience that is already whittling down to a more niche audience. And it's like, who is that for? And you're spending millions of dollars into it. And here's the thing. When you invest millions of dollars into this stuff, like, live service games are very front-loaded when it comes to their budgets. They need money fast, which means they need to bring in a big audience fast and keep them there. Because keeping them there is how they make money. Because this, like, live service games are storefronts. That's what they are. The whole model is based upon, we keep you here. The longer you're here, the more likely we are to sell you a fucking skin or the battle pass or whatever. And if they're not getting enough people coming in and staying in and early, because they're front loaded budget wise, spending money hand over fist, not just in development, but also promotions, then the game's going to fail. And that's ultimately what happened to High Guard, by the way. And a lot of that has to do with the game feels generic. Nothing sets it apart. There's no connection. There's nothing that makes you feel for any of the characters. Like First Descendant, they lean heavily into the goon, right? Just sex sells all the time in that game. Still doesn't really drive players in. You know why? Because it's a hollow. Yeah, the characters look sexy. Guess what? The internet is free. Rule 34 exists. Sorry. You gotta have some depth. You gotta have some meaning. You gotta have something that draws people in narratively. And ultimately, that's a big problem for these online live service games, right? Is that you have no narrative. It's all gameplay based. Elden Ring works because even though the Elden Ring and the Souls games, like, even though some of the times or a lot of the times the story is fucking nonsensical or autistically difficult to keep track of what is actually going on. But there is a story that exists, and the gameplay is the main selling point because the difficulty is the selling point. The achievement hunting is the selling point. Live service doesn't have that because it's just PvP with occasional bots. Those last live service games weren't true live service games. Here's the thing. They're slop live service games. They're just churned out. Like Marathon, right? What about Marathon is compelling to players that makes them want to play? That sets it apart. That isn't a genre that isn't already saturated. Because that's the big problem that they gotta overtake. Is that this is also a saturated market. There is a limited amount of players that want to play these types of games. They think it's unlimited, but it really is. It's limited. Not every player wants to play online with other people or against other people. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, video games are still kind of a solo hobby. They're not a communal hobby. They're communal in that we all love video games, but they're not communal in that like everybody wants to be part of a community, everybody wants to play online, everybody wants to play PvP. No. I would say that it's actually the opposite. And here, I'll say that I have no statistics, no facts to back this at all. All feelings, no facts, okay? Anti-Daily Wire here. That's what we were getting. All feelings, no facts. But I would say that it's a bit like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Like all gamers can appreciate, I think, good single-player games. Not all gamers like online live service games. It is already a smaller audience compared to the broader gamers as in general. Not that it is a small audience. It's a large audience, but it's not everybody. And that large audience, the live service players, they have a limited amount of time and money to spend on a game. If I'm already committed to Overwatch and I'm committed to Fortnite, when am I going to have the fucking time to put in the hours and money into another live service game to the point where I have some kind of meaningful connection to it where I want to keep playing and it's worth me playing because I'm getting better, I'm getting more rare shit, and getting more cool shit. There's a payoff, right? And your time and your money is limiting that payoff. Having to divvy it all up. So yeah, carrying capacity is a big problem for these games. And investing in this as a publisher continuously, as you've had several massive failures in this genre already, is asinine. It's retarded. That shit stinks. It's ass cheeks. Bad business practice. Why are you doing this? What? Do better. Stop throwing money. Because what they want to do is they want to throw money and they're just spending money hand over fist in these studios to produce one live service game that's going to hit. And they think that if they hit that one live service game, it's going to be Fortnite. And it's just going to farm gamers money. They want to make a farm, a low effort farm, just farm money from gamers. The problem with that is that Epic Games actually puts a lot of work and effort into Fortnite, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like they do. And they definitely could do things better. Trust me. But they do put a lot of work into it. It's not easy. And if you haven't noticed, Fortnite numbers are actually down to the point where Tim Sweeney is openly admitting that Fortnite numbers are down. And that's part of the reason why they had to cut 1,000 employees, which I feel like everybody just glazed over that story when it came out, by the way, that Epic cut 1,000 jobs. Like, that's fucking wild. We're talking about the bloodbath in terms of studios at Xbox. Epic cut 1,000 jobs, and everybody's just like, eh. And it's so bad that Fortnite is putting in jiggle physics, and they gave girls in the game like actual asses now and tits with jiggle physics. Like, it's barely there, jiggle physics, but it's there. And like, what's gonna happen in the future? I want the numbers to Fortnite to keep going down, because then maybe we get some more goon content. Okay, don't get it twisted. I laid into First Descendant earlier, but I support what they do. Not just because like it's gooning, and I support that, but also because it does shit like reveal grifters like Melanie Mack. It's still wild that Melanie Mack got revealed over First Descendant of all things. Anyway, all of this is happening while like we're coming to the realization that PlayStation is gonna we're realizing PlayStation is gonna have to sell the PS6 for like $1,200, and that's being conservative. So let's where do I start with fucking Xbox? Holy shit. Like, so Xbox, one last thing on PlayStation. It's so bad that like PC Gamer is trolling PlayStation now. Like, just one more live service game, bro. One more live service game will fix it. I swear. Just one more, bro. I swear. Rare PC Gamer dub. A rare PC Gamer dub. We are definitely far away from the golden era of gaming. Yeah. In some respects. But in other respects, like, I mean, here's the thing. We're about to talk about a bunch of studios closing, right? Or getting axed. What is stopping those guys from just getting a fucking job somewhere, or getting together and scraping their savings together and forming their own company and doing their own game development? What's stopping these guys from taking a chance on themselves? What's stopping these guys? And you can work while you do that, by the way. I don't like, here's the thing. I know like people like Cream NATO, right? If you watch Gronkin on Dogs, like Cream, he's a better person than me. Because whenever like they get announcements that like studios are getting shut down or whatever, he's like, oh, I feel bad for like all the developers that are getting let go. Like, it's shitty that they lose their jobs or whatever. Me, I think that's the Canadian in him. Me, I'm more of a American capitalist in the way that I'm like, hey, you didn't produce shit. You produced shitty content, shitty games. You didn't do good work. You should be fired. Like, that's what happens. Like, and if you did do good work and you just ended up being caught up in the studio closure or getting axed or whatever, you're going to find work somewhere else because you got a good resume. And you're probably going to be highlighted in your interview process as a good employee. Like, the cream rises to the top. People who perform in the meritocracy should do well. Now, yeah, there's some times where it's like, it's who you know. Especially in the gaming industry. But also, I've never seen talented people within the gaming industry not either go out and make it on their own or find a new place to land that had talent. Like, go out, like, if these studios are not producing, they deserve to be closed. And those people deserve to be out of a job because they didn't do their job. And you might be like, oh, well, it's unfortunate because, like, you know, people just didn't like the game. Okay, but still, job wasn't done. Job was to perform in a way that gets people to buy your shit. That didn't happen. Whether it was specifically a decision from that person or not, like, there's some way they contributed to that some way. We can make excuses for them all day. But you were at the company that failed. So, like, you gotta own the failure. Right? So, yeah. I'm fine with closing studios. I'm fine with these motherfuckers being out of a job. Because, in all honesty, if they're good at their job, if they were good at what they did, and they just got caught up in the bullshit, they're going to get a good job. Or they're going to go be successful in some other way. Whether that's forming their own studio, getting together, whatever. Like, we live in an age where 30 devs from Ubisoft, the top guys were from Ubisoft, the other devs were, you know, all over the place, but 30 guys, former ex-devs of other companies, got together and made the game of the fucking decade, Expedition 33. And we live in an age where a dude on his spare time getting his, like, master's or doctorate degree is making fucking Dragon's Twin, which looks awesome. The guy who made Manor Lords is one dev, one dude who hired a few, like, rotating contractors to help him. Hell, Warhorse Studios was originally like 10 dudes in their basement, and they made the original Kingdom Come Deliverance out of that. So I don't want to hear this like, oh, it's so hard on us game devs. Oh, the game development is so hard. Literally, there are legions of dudes doing it better than you, right? And the truth is that you're not taking the time to do this, whatever. You know what I'm gonna do, because my wife is actually about to, like, have our baby. That I'm gonna have to go on paternity leave for a week. You know what I'm gonna do in some of my spare time during that paternity leave? I'm gonna set up my green screen. Why? Because I bought a green screen. Finally was able to afford one. Birthday gift to me. So was able to afford one. It was my wife's money, but also, like, it was our money because joint accounts and all that. Anyway, you don't give a shit about that. But I'm going to take some of my spare time to set up that green screen because I want to make the content better so you don't have to look at all this shit that is a boring white room. Because I'm doing this in a spare bedroom. I did add a bookcase, though. It's my bookcase. It was more of necessity than really, like, any kind of artistic feng shui bullshit. So, yeah. But I'm going to add the green screen. I'm going to figure out how the green screen works and how that functions because I want to make a better show for you guys. I want to make better content for you guys. I want to get better. And there are devs out there who want to trust themselves and do something better. Even if they get laid off. They're on to the next thing, competing. And this whole like, oh, why boys me? Like, I got laid off. Like, that's victimhood mentality. Go out there and fucking do something. I don't know. Maybe that's just my personality. I'm also a guy, like, I didn't have a car when I was like 16 years old. I wanted a fucking job. So like I walked the entirety of my hometown, like from place to place, turning in fucking applications in fucking June. Trying to like get a job. So I kind of have a go-getter spirit sometimes. I can be lazy. I've definitely procrastinated stuff. There have been times when I've been really lazy. To the point where it's gotten me in trouble. But I also know that sometimes putting in a lot of effort, back-breaking effort, it's what usually ends up being really good for you in the long run. Even when you're down. Ooh la la, professional? Motherfucker, I am not professional. I'm not professional would be... Do you have any idea how many sound problems I've had? Do you have any breadth and depth of understanding the amount of sound? I did an entire gaming stream of Ninja Gaiden 4? Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. That's what it was. I did an entire 2-hour stream on silent. Because neither of my game volume or my mic was on. I thought they were, but they were not. My game volume was not switched to the game volume and my mic was not turned on. And I had motherfuckers who were in and out of my views and nobody said nothing. Nobody was like, you're muted, quiet, whatever. I just went along. And yeah, that's still up, by the way. I don't delete my shit. My old shit is up for full embarrassment. I will probably have to, just because of sheer size, I will probably have to delete stuff eventually. But yeah. Fine then, you suck. Don't improve. Listen, I will improve though. Because I'm not a victim game dev. Okay? So, that's, I didn't mean to go on a rant that long over this, but let's just talk Xbox. So, there's been a lot of talk about Xbox studios axing different, Xbox axing a lot of different, so there were 3 studios in particular. I don't remember which specific ones. It was the studio that made We Happy Few and the studio that made Psychonauts and all that stuff. They were all going to get the axe. And honestly, Ninja Theory was going to get the axe. Ninja Theory, which did Senua, which it's funny that Ninja Theory is getting the axe. Ninja Theory getting the axe is the wildest one because they literally promoted a game made by Ninja Theory at Games Fest. Sasha Sharma came up and was like, hey, yo, guys, check out fucking Senua from Ninja Theory. And then now they're like, hey, we're actually going to shut Ninja Theory down. I don't know why. Fucking. I don't know why you would do that. But Ninja Theory, let's be honest here. Even that was supposed to be a higher level game, AAA game or whatever. All those studios were honestly Game Pass filler content. For the past 10 years, what Xbox was doing was they were buying up a bunch of small studios and sometimes sizable studios just to have them produce small Game Pass filler content, Game Pass filler games. And the truth is, they don't actually need to do that anymore because they can just get fucking third parties to do that. Now, I did hear, I don't have the article brought up, but that they like froze. I think it's a rumor, but not confirmed. I'm not sure. They froze like putting new like content or doing any kind of new contracts for Game Pass. And what I think it is that they're actually tweaking the tier system. They're going to tweak the tier system for Game Pass again, is what's going to happen. And that's probably why it's moving. I don't think Game Pass is going away. It's too much ingrained in Xbox at this point. There will be a fucking uproar if they get rid of Game Pass, which, to be fair, I mean, that hasn't stopped them from doing wild shit in the past. But more game studios are being talked about, though, other than those three. And one of them here, as Charlie Intel reports, is that Xbox has pulled funding for IO Interactive's Project Fantasy title, which IO says will result in layoffs. Xbox spokesperson tells Bloomberg, "We're not reducing our overall investment in games. We expect to invest about the same in content as we did last year. What's changing is where we're investing, and the kinds of projects we're backing." So that sounds like this game was ass.
Expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed.
Sounds like this game was ass. And they didn't believe in it. The new administration didn't believe in it. And let's be honest, James Bond, I've played. I have streams of it. I've played it. It's good. It's okay. It's like a 7 out of 10. 6, 7 out of 10. 6, 7. Anyway. The problem is that they also backed and like made fucking Mind's Eye, which is an unmitigated disaster. And it's kind of a mixed bag with IO. And I understand why you want to maybe not want to be in business with IO, because like, I don't know. They're not the kind of company I would trust to be completely up and up with everything. And it's going to result in layoffs, but like, here's the thing. This is not the only layoffs that they are causing by their switch here, because Charlie Intel that's the vendor stuff that I was talking about earlier. Where is it? Here it is. Microsoft is reportedly considering canceling Marvel's Blade and shutting its developer Arcane down. So, again, by the way, why is it so hard to make a Blade game or movie? He's a black, like half vampire that kills vampire. This is not a difficult story to understand. But somehow it's difficult for these execs. Like, and listen, what value is going to be lost from this? Because from what I saw of the Blade trailer, didn't look that great. And the story, from what I heard of the rumors, also not that great. So like, what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with studios being shut down if they don't perform. Okay? Like, here's the thing. Here's another one. Xbox reportedly considering closing down Undead Labs, developers of State of Decay 3, if a buyer of the studio is not found. When's the last time you met a massive fan of, like, State of Decay? I'm sure they exist. I'm sure that, like, it has an audience. But State of Decay, from what I heard, was State of Decay 2 was a step down. And State of Decay 3 is kind of just, it's an unknown. Mazza? Yeah, I know Mazza likes State of Decay. It's up his alley because Mazza doesn't like probably wouldn't admit this, but he likes sandboxes. He likes a bit of sandbox elements in his game. And this is like zombies, but with sandbox. And so, like, he's going to be down for that 100%. And I've played State of Decay 1 and 2. I didn't put a lot of hours into them, but they were decent. They were a good time if you're into that sort of thing. And maybe State of Decay is good, maybe it's not. But Undead Lab, like, the truth is that these are not major producers. Again, these are not major producers. These are add-ons. These are add-ons to, like, Ninja Theory is a studio that produces $60 games that are add-on content. Think of it this way. When the MCU was firing on all cylinders, when Iron Man was hot, when Captain America was hot, when all of the main Marvel characters were doing great, you could have Ant-Man. You could have Guardians of the Galaxy. Take a risk on Guardians of the Galaxy. When Call of Duty is at its peak and it's selling like hotcakes, and like games for Xbox, when Bethesda is cranking out a massive popular game that's flying off the shelves, metaphorically speaking, because no game flies off the shelves anymore because nobody makes physical copies anymore. But when Xbox games are really taking off, they can afford to have their versions of Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man, which are Undead Labs and Ninja Theory, and all the other smaller studios that produce even lower tier games. When things are not going well at Xbox and they have to trim the fat, well, Ant-Man's going to get the axe. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to go away. Undead Labs and Ninja Theory are going to get cut. That's just the way. These are second tier. They have an audience. They make a decent amount of money. But they are not producers, right? Even though they are single player games, or they can be co-op or whatever. Some of them. Like, I think State of Decay has a co-op feature. I would assume so. It's been a long time since I played it. But we talk about PlayStation have a problem with like doling a bunch of money into live service, right? Well, Xbox has the same kind of problem, but they dumped a lot of money into everything. And now they're spread too thin. And they have to do more strategic investing. And doing more, along with strategic investing comes what they want to do next, which is exclusives, which I think is a terrible fucking idea across the board. You can't have $2,000 consoles, $1,000 to $2,000 consoles, and then be like, hey, we're doing exclusive games. What? Huh? You want to do... How much do you think that's going to make people like you as a company? That you're making games exclusive to your fucking $1,400 console? People are probably going to be pissed at you. And you can earn a lot of points with people by being like, hey, our console is super expensive, but guess what? You have this console already. We're going to put it on there for you. It's either that or you spend a ton of money making sure that games are previous gen compatible, which is kind of what they already are doing, which apparently that costs a lot of money, because literally I'm always hearing about publishers fucking complaining and people close to publishers fucking complaining that the reason why games get delayed and things end up all funky, wonky, broken, buggy bullshit when they come out is because they have to be previous gen ready. So yeah, like, again, this is another studio that if you cut, like, it's going to be rough for the people that like those games, like that studio, but I understand it. And again, these are the hard decisions she's talked about having to make, Asha Sharma. And then you have backlash like this. Unionized Xbox employees are pushing back against the company's looming layoffs and have outlined various demands. Here's the thing. This is not going to stop anything. Xbox is still going to get rid of it. They're still going to trim the fat. And if you try to like sue them in court, it's not going to change much. If the lawsuits against other companies for these kinds of practices in the gaming industry have proven anything, it's not going to change a whole lot. So yeah. By the way, Quantic Dream, those are the guys that made what's it called? Detroit Become Human, which I played, actually. I really liked. But Quantic Dream, they're making Star Wars Eclipse. Yeah, this game is dead. This game's going to get canceled because they're complaining of like being super behind, out of resources, lack of funding. Like they're talking about how they need 115 more staff members. Again, in an era where the game of a generation was made by 30 devs, a team of 115, they need 115 more staffers to finish the game, apparently, which they're not going to finish, and it's going to get canceled. This thing is a development nightmare from what it sounds like. So yeah, they're going on. They went on strike as protest too. So it's funny because like you're like Quantic Dream. The employees were complaining, oh, we're so behind on everything. We need these extra employees, and to show you that we need these extra employees and we are so behind, we're going to protest and get even more behind. So, like, what? I don't understand really what you're thinking, what your process was there. Try to explain that to me. And then you have fucks like this, man. Rebs Gaming. Hey, at Asha Sharma, I have an idea. What if Microsoft doesn't lay off an insane amount of Xbox employees? They work for the studios, not Xbox directly. Cancel projects and close studios. I think that's a great option. Yeah. And what if we all fucking rode unicorns? And like we shat candy that we could also eat? Like, what if every time I woke up in the morning, I, like, had an instant orgasm? Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is the business, man. It's the games industry, not the games friendship. Projects are going to get canceled. Studios are going to get shut down and people are going to get laid off. You know why? Because of bad decisions from the previous administration. Because investing in and caring in about the wrong things. And a bit of bad luck as well. Because it goes back to the fucking Xbox One where they tried to be like, oh, it's going to be a home entertainment system. TV. And then they got absolutely cucked by the invention of something called the Roku, which pretty much ended that whole idea of Xbox being a home entertainment system. Now they're actually moving in the right direction, which is that Xbox in the future is going to be gaming PCs. It's going to be gaming PC brand. That's what it's going to be. And they're all going to end up there eventually, including PlayStation. But yeah. Xbox has begun ending contracts and canceling vendors, which has led to Xbox PR agency to begin layoffs today. The larger layoffs are internally expected soon. Yeah, this is expected. They're getting thinner. They have to. People are acting like, oh, the sky is falling. Xbox is ending. No, they're trimming the fat. Xbox has become way too bloated. Way too bloated. And PlayStation is spending money hand over fist. And eventually, it's going to come to roost for them too. And Steam, Valve, I have no idea what they're doing. Because they're trying to get into a market doing shit they don't need to do. And then Nintendo is just Nintendo. They're just over there suing people left and right. And like, I don't know, making shitty Mario games, trying to sell them for $80. Which is still fucked, by the way. Mario Kart released with like none of the content it was supposed to have in it. $80. And the next $80 game we get is a neutered version of GTA 6. Not even the full game of GTA 6. It's a neutered version. I miss the everything is an Xbox. Here's the thing about everything is an Xbox. It was a good message, presented very poorly. And I think Xbox did a lot of that under Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond's tenure. What it should have been is Xbox Play Anywhere. That makes fucking sense to me. Because everything is an Xbox. You're literally telling people, hey, you don't need our product. But Play Anywhere means that you can play on an Xbox anywhere, but also we're going to let you in on a little secret. You don't have to play on a Xbox product to play on Xbox. That's how you could blow some fucking minds with that statement. One little one little advertising statement gets changed. Can fix everything. But anyway, it's still not as bad as the WNBA and Nike making the WNBA's like slogan, "Let her cook." Just and so many boardrooms and nobody thought, that might be taken wrong. But I think the cuts for Xbox and the studio closures, the eventual studio closures for Xbox is a good thing. It's a necessary thing. I'm so tired in just business overall, not just the games industry, but business overall. People being like, oh, this business is going to fail. Oh, no. Good. Businesses are supposed to fail. Sometimes businesses fail. It's a good thing. Just like it's good to have forest fires sometimes. Because it clears out the dead rot so new growth can take place. It's good for things to fail a lot. No, we become so afraid of failure as a society. Like, yeah, I could really go down a rabbit hole and talk about like teaching and education and being like how we as a society have become so scared to fucking fail students in schools and make them have to repeat things so that they actually know what they're fucking doing. That we now have an entire generation of professional workers that have degrees that say they are experts in things like fucking graphic design and don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because professor after professor, teacher after teacher passed them along without ensuring that they actually knew the knowledge. Some of the teachers I had, the professors I had, that I, looking back, I respect the most and actually have the most positive feeling towards are not the ones that I was buddy and got along with, whatever. That's nice. But the ones I respect the most are the ones I've struggled in the classes for. And they basically told me, hey, you need to get fucking better or you're going to have to do this shit again. Not in those words. But that was the spirit of the message. Because they were actually holding me to standard. They were actually being like, no, you need to prove to me you know what you're doing. Because you're going to go out there, you're going to take these skills out there, you're going to have a piece of paper that says you know how to do this. So when somebody looks at the paper and says, you know how to do this, you need to be like, yes, I do know how to do this, and actually go out and do it. Not just be lying to people. Because we have too much of that already happening. No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind is a very big part of it. It's also partly because we are teaching kids in 2026 using a system that was developed for 18th century small classrooms. That was then modified a little bit in the 30s, 40s. But the truth is, if we want to go real radical on this, I think the entire education system needs to be overhauled. I think we need to tear that motherfucker down to the studs. I think that what we need to do is you need primary school, basically up until about middle school, 12, 13. And then we need to have aptitude tests and also interest tests. And then we sort of correlate Venn diagram bullshit that into suggested career fields. And then we give the student a choice, basically being like, hey, these are your suggested career fields, what your interests say you might like, and also like what you're good at. Maybe you should think about taking an internship in those. And if they don't want to do that, they want to do something else, go ahead. And that would include like culinary work. Even if you want to just go work at a fucking fast food joint your whole life. It would include that. And then from about 13 to about 18, you get that education. And from about 16 to 18, you can start getting paid legally. I think that's what should happen. It should be more internship focused. Interest and internship focused. The education system a lot earlier. Because the number one, when I was a teacher, bring back, good thing Department of Education is gone. Now we need to improve it, bring back meritocracy. Yes, and also, here's the thing. The number one complaint I got, or I won't say number one, but one of the biggest things I used to hear in the high school that I taught for 1 year. I absolutely hated it. I fucking hated teaching for many different reasons. And the only thing it did, by the way, is solidify my opinion, actually increase my opinion that I'm right and this needs to be torn down to the studs. But one of the biggest things I would hear students say is, why do I need to learn this? Why do I need to be here when I could be out working? They would literally be the children yearning for the mines. They wanted to be out working. They wanted to be out doing something, making money. They have the internet at their fingertips since they were children. This is the most money educated and capitalist system educated generation ever. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, especially Gen Alpha. They know the value of the dollar a lot quicker than most kids, most generations. And they know about work and what's needed of them and the planning that needs to be taken to be successful in life way earlier. And I think you should let them. I think we gotta stop. We gotta stop using a 18th century system that's outdated for how fast we as humans grow up and get into the workforce now and understand how society works. We used to have a tunnel system of primary school teacher to universities for certain subjects. Now that shit is gone. Yeah, so like, I do think there's certain things that you do still need to have university education for. I think certain things like, if you want to go into law or be a doctor, a medical professional, like those still need to have university educations, need to be thorough. They basically are internships at this point. Like that, they basically are that system for doctors. But I also think, like, I think careers in the humanities should still exist, like history, sociology, psychology, stuff like that. But like, I think the universities can exist for that purpose as well. Even philosophy, which, listen, I have a degree in humanities. I have a degree in history. And philosophy was the number one made fun of, like, major within humanities because it's so pointless. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it should just be more career focused, preparing kids for careers, preparing them for the workforce, and stop trying to push this higher education on a lot of them. Because the truth is that the vast majority of these kids today, teenagers today, they want to make money. They want to have a job. They don't want the higher education. They don't want to become philosophers. They don't want to become historians. There are some, yes. And I would say it would be a good enough amount that I wouldn't be worried about that actual kind of job going away or knowledge of that career going away. But the vast majority of them need to be more prepared to go into the workforce, go into being ready for a career straight from high school, the high school level. Anyway, that's my rant on education. Today's kids know you need 10 years of experience for an entry level job. They need to start. Yeah, they're 10 years old. They're getting ready for their first shift. Okay, but to be honest, like, today's kids do know, like, way more early about, like, how to not be unsuccessful, how to avoid, like, I had a kid in one of my classes that he never turned in work and never did anything, just sat in the back of the class, he didn't cause a disturbance. He was quiet. He's well behaved, which was fine. But he just didn't want to put any effort in or whatever. And I was like, hey man, like, why? And he basically said, I have a job now. It's going to be a full-time career. I plan on going up through the company that way, starting at the entry level I have. when the GED like test is going to be given. Like, I think he was scheduled for like next year or whatever is what he's planning on, which was like the earliest he could take it. He's like, when it becomes available to me, I'm going to take that and hopefully pass it and then graduate that way. And that's what I want to do. I don't really want to put any effort in. And it was sad because he was clearly not a dumb kid. But that was his plan. And I told him the truth, which is, hey man, you don't want to put effort into this. You have a plan. I'm not going to put time and effort into you. I'm not going to force you. Because there's no point. There's no point in doing that then. Because he's made his decision and nothing was going to change him. So yeah. You are going to get those scenarios. But I think I've prattled on enough about all this and all the failures of PlayStation, Xbox, Supergirl, etc. So I think now we'll do the doom scroll, where we're literally just gonna raw dog scroll Twitter, see what we see. Hope you guys have had a good night. Shout out to all you guys watching, either right now or on the VOD. You guys make this whole thing go around. Really appreciate you. Make sure you smash the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the hype. Hype is something people don't think about a lot, but actually really helps with the algorithm. Really appreciate you guys on that. But yeah, we're gonna do the doom scroll now, and we're just gonna literally look through Twitter. Careful with them bushes. Bushes. I mean, I don't think we're gonna see any Bush on this yet. Unless you're talking about George W. Bush and No Child Left Behind still. Which I don't think I trust any Bushes, to be honest, if I'm being honest. But what do we got here? James Gunn's wife thinks James Gunn's next film is the best James Gunn film. Yeah, I saw this because like Jennifer Holland, who is James Gunn's wife, is like, Man of Tomorrow is the best James Gunn film yet. Yeah, you're fucking married to him. Like, what else are you going to say? Like, if he loses his job, he loses access to the best bulls for you in Hollywood. I mean, because he's a cuck. Anyway, let's go back here. Dear devs and studios, never partner up with Microsoft on anything. They are parasites. Dear gaming community, for a good long while, it has been all positive news from IO Interactive. Has it? We remain humbled and honored by the response for our latest outing with a young, unproven Bond. A bold new story take, blah, 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 blah. However, today we have to share some more downbeat news. A relationship with the external partner, with an external partner on our own IP, Project Fantasy, has come to an end. This means that we have to adapt to this new reality and its short-term consequences, including staffing decisions, which is what is happening as we write this update, and we are fully committed to supporting those affected, blah, 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 blah. Project Fantasy is a game, a world, an IP we absolutely love and remain 100% committed to, so they're still making it. Well, okay, so hold on. So we're still making the game. We're not canceling the game. But because we don't have the money from Microsoft anymore, we can't keep these people on that were working on the game. So what? But you're still going to work on the game and make so why did you need to hire those people? I'm a bit confused. I don't know. It's interesting. Fucking ad for Timo with PlayStation. I swear, dude, shit is listening to me. Xbox letting PlayStation lock down GTA this hard was another huge blunder from Phil too. GTA 6 content. I think GTA 6 content. I think this was the page that was like. So I don't know if you remember, but there was a post that was made by like a GTA 6 fan account. I think it was this one, Countdown. It might not have been. But it was like, oh, GTA has like already made like $1 billion off of like so many thousands or like millions of copies sold or whatever. And people were running with it with gospel as like gospel. And they were like, oh yeah, this is happening. Like it's already made this amount of money on pre-sales and blah, blah, blah. And like I was seeing it on fucking shows and people talking about it, tweeting it and all that. And literally the dude provided no source. And in the source, like in the replies, he was like, yeah, I can't reveal my source, but it's true, you know. And so basically he was like, yeah, trust me, bro. So the motherfucker he could have made it all up. And we just, people were out there just running with it that it was gospel. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Okay. Xbox confirms it's not reducing its investment in game. Yeah, we know that already. State of Decay 3 has more wish lists on Steam than a lot of Xbox other upcoming games. Canceling this makes no sense at all. I hope they have a buyer who is going to see it through at least. Yeah, it does make sense because Xbox is switching to an exclusive model. They're going towards PlayStation's line of thinking, where they are going to invest in very few large budget AAA games. That's what they're going to produce. And and I don't know why they're doing this. Maybe it's because they think that they're investing in the idea of independent sphere becoming so large that like they're able to fill out their content with the independent sphere, which maybe could work because there's a lot of weird games that like there's strategy games, grand strategy games you can get on Xbox Game Pass now. Like you can play Stellaris and Crusader Kings on Xbox, on console. That's fucking weird. That's weird to me. I heard Rockstar ran out of copies of GTA 6. Yeah, they ran out of them in the digital store. Yeah. Hey, they ran out of plastic boxes. So when do we get to see GTA 6 game? Never forget. We have yet to see any actual gameplay from GTA 6. And motherfuckers will be out there in your replies basically being like they were to me, being like, all of the footage shown in the trailers is in-game footage. So we've seen gameplay. Motherfucker, those are cinematics. What the fuck are you talking about? What the little fuck are you talking about? That's not gameplay. Cinematics are gameplay the way like foreplay is sex. It's like, this is fun, but you know what I want. It's fucking dumb, dude. Like, yeah. Show us a gameplay trailer. Why are we not? I bet we never get a gameplay trailer for GTA 6. I bet that happens. I bet GTA 6 fucking drops and we don't get a single fucking look of gameplay. What if it's ass? Has anybody considered that that possibility? What if the gameplay to GTA 6 is ass? How are we going to deal with that? Anyway, It turns out Supergirl sucked and is a massive flop, only earning 37.1 million domestic in its opening weekend. Yep, the chuds were right. So a thing I've been doing is every time Angry Joe posts his fucking autistic rants, I literally just I go to the post and I just reply #Nerdrotic was right. That's I just reply Nerdrotic was right. And this is AMC 14 in Burbank, the most popular theater in the country. It's over. Yeah. This is the Chris Gore post. GTA 6 haters gonna have a real meltdown when they watch this. Rockstar proves every single time they don't miss. The most recent example is Red Dead Redemption 2, where the actual game looked even better than its trailers. I mean, I guess it looks less cinematic and more lived in, so I don't know. The PC thing, in my mind, at the time, was not to make money, frankly. Former PlayStation boss Sean Layden has defended the PC strategy that Sony has since decided to pivot away from. Yeah, so Sean Layden basically was like, he thinks it's a mistake for PlayStation to go away from PC. And here's the thing, he's right in terms of that, like, so the optimization cost, I know PlayStation tries to be like, oh, well, the cost of optimizing these games for PC doesn't make sense given the amount of money that we bring in from PC because, like, we don't make enough money to justify. Listen, it's interest, okay? It's fucking exposure. You put your games on PC, motherfuckers on PC play your games. They play enough of your games back to back, the fucking God of War series, right? That then they're maybe like, oh, I want to play the next God of War game. Oh, it's only on PlayStation? I have an extra $650 now, weirdly enough, and I'm going to go buy a PlayStation so I can play God of Laufey. God of War Laufey. Might as well be God of Laufey because it doesn't fucking matter at this point. Because they want to play the game, you know? To be fair, two big things there you might have witnessed that go again, like, are the big things that actually jump across in getting PC gamers actually over there, which is, one, it's God of War Laufey. Not exactly the same level of interest. Two, like, why, how would they have enough money? Because, like, console prices have gotten out of control. So, yeah. Like, I get why they took it off PC. I think the amount of people they could bring with good games from PC over by doing that strategy is worth the cost. So, I don't know. Tim Sweeney says Steam is leaving billions on the table by ignoring major live service games like Fortnite, Riot Games, and Genshin Impact. They're missing out on a lot of opportunity that I think they could have if they took the more forward-looking open view that Epic has taken and Microsoft has taken. So I'm a bit confused. Is that Tim Sweeney being like, hey, we want you to get into the Battle Royale live service game like fight? Because I don't think Steam wants that because that's retarded. If there's anything that's been proven over the last year with Tim Sweeney and Epic having to cut 1,000 jobs, it's that people playing online service games are actually in decline. Also, this is fucking Tim Sweeney. He and Epic Games hate Steam. They hate Valve because they're successful and they don't have to fucking rely on Fortnite to pay for everything. Gabe dubs something, Gabe wins. Gabe dubs nothing, Gabe wins sometimes. most of the time. However, there are occasions where they do take a loss. They decided to make a console PC hybrid, and now that's going to be a loss. That's going to be a big L. I've been laid off by EA. Let's talk about it. If you're an indie team looking for work with the creator space, I'm happy to help. Yeah, EA's laying off. See, here's the thing. It's not just... Literally everybody's laying off people. You know why? Because the fucking costs are astronomical now. They can't keep up. Fucking Ubisoft is in such bad financial straits that they had to create a shell company, a fake company, to shove their most successful IPs into. So if they go bankrupt, their IPs don't get sold to the highest bidder. Joe had to add fake tears to my video to make him feel better. He's broken. He's a broken man. Yeah. I mean, X-Men, but it was filmed in the 80s. I mean, looks pretty... Sylvester Stallone as Wolverine? I mean, I guess. Rutger Hauer, Magneto, I see that. Kind of a different choice. He's not as well known. Jamie Lee Curtis as Mystique, I mean, I guess. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Colossus. Jean-Claude Van Damme as Robin Williams is... What? What? Val Kilmer's Archangel. Okay, see, this is why this ship right here is why we have casting directors. That's fame. Check tape. Weren't you shitting on Stallone's entire career just a few days ago? Seth Rogen says critics would write differently if they knew how devastating bad reviews are for actors. I'm at the point in my career where not a lot of people are in a position to yell at me in my job, but the New York Times will publish an entire article saying I suck at my job. Well, that's because sometimes you do suck at your job. I worked my way up to not having to deal with that much personal conflict. Guess what? This fucking guy, dude. This fucking guy. He's such a big fucking pussy. He's such a... Listen. If I said what I wanted to say about... I'm going to use the Mikel Arteta quote, right? The head coach of Arsenal for a long time in soccer. Who said to the press once, if I said what I wanted to say, I'd be suspended for 6 months. If I said what I wanted to say about Seth Rogen, I'd be banned off YouTube for like 6 months. Like, this guy, this is a dude who is his brain is on LA. Like, that's his drug. Like, you know, this is your brain on like crack or whatever. This is your brain on LA. That's what this is. Because he's just like, yeah, not having kids is great. Being childless is the way to go, for sure. Yeah, getting your car robbed in the neighborhood is just part of the experience. That's how it's supposed to be, you know? Oh, people saying mean things about me online in reviews, it hurts my little feelings so bad. And I can't do it. I just break down. It's so fucking stupid, dude. Like, we all saw these firings happening the last few years. AI RAM prices just pushed it ahead of time. Yeah, it's accelerant on the fire, for sure. The truth is that while it is pretty diversified in terms of the amount of studios and publishers, the games development has to become more diverse in terms of studios and publishers again. Because there used to be a fuck ton. There's not anymore. You're not going to believe this. If cyberpunk is woke, then why isn't anti-blackness a prominent thing in the game? Or are you talking about white people's definition of woke? I miss when cyberpunk wasn't woke cyberpunk. Dude, brother. Literally, the whole motif of cyberpunk is corpo's bad. I don't know how you get anything besides woke out of that. How do you get, there are parts of cyberpunk that are super based, but the through line of cyberpunk is that unfettered capitalism is bad. That's the through line of cyberpunk. Okay. If the games industry shuts down quadruple A gaming companies and go back to triple A, it would save some money. Yeah, pretty much. Here's the thing. If large studios failed, and then that gave way for new studios to rise up and make good content, and actually get here's the thing. If big studios stop gobbling up all the fucking loan money from banks so they could keep existing, turning out shit, if they went away and some of that loan money could go to actually new studios, smaller studios, to produce actually good games, that's a pretty good fucking win for getting rid of quadruple A studios. Anyway, Brittany Venti. Could have sworn there was a term for that, like child trafficking. Adam22 asks Piper Raquel about selling risque photos at just... Oh my gosh. You have to understand, I got demonetized on YouTube. My whole family know what... Okay, so still... No. Have your parents get a job? Get bigger loans to pay off smaller loans. That's EU4 economics for you. Well, think about it. Most billionaires use the buy, borrow, die method, which I don't know if you know, but so here's the thing. BBD is basically so you buy something, right? You buy a company, basically, with your money. You have ownership of the company. And then you basically your stocks of the company is what you own, right? So you've bought stocks of that company. You own stock shares. Then you use those stock shares as collateral to get loans from a bank, and then you live off of the money from the loans. And then you keep doing that, and then eventually you die. And then it's just all forfeited because they can't get money from a dead man. That's how most billionaires do it. That's how freaking Elon Musk does it. For real. I I mean, I like Seth and Keanu, but they have to see the irony in all this, right? I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna listen to fucking Seth Rogen. Xbox is considering canceling Blade. Yeah, I know that. Pokemon Masters, so they can't. And G&G posts. Ruby Rose breaks multiple rids after falling in her pool. This woman only enters the news cycle whenever she's been involved in some kind of Looney Tunes scenario. It's very true. Remember when Ruby Rose was going to be the next big thing? Like, dudes liked her because she was hot. Women liked her because she was, like, badass and anti-patriarchy and, like, a lesbian. So, like, she was ticking all the boxes. But it never happened. I think it was because she was, like, hard to work with on set. The moment you realize what life looks like for people who don't know anything about AI, politics, or the economy. Yeah, it must be nice. Living in ignorance has to be nice, man. Remember when Marvel made her the main character in an Avengers game and it tanked worse than her comic books? The Fantastic Four will not be DLC. Most of their powers are already represented by more interesting characters. Sorry. Miss Marvel, like, in theory, the character can work, but they just never do it right. Never make her interesting enough. Is that J-Lo? I'm not interested in J-Lo. I don't know why people are so obsessed with J-Lo. It's like she's a fucking crazy person, obviously. An Oregon card shop has halted its Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments for a week after receiving multiple complaints and bad reviews due to smelly play. I believe it. 100% I believe it. I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, how are we not supposed to believe that Yu-Gi-Oh players are smelly? I mean, the most ridiculous of the, like, kids collecting animes or whatever like that. Like Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! All that shit. The most ridiculous Yu-Gi-Oh! Call of Duty is running ads for Modern Warfare 4 that specifically state the game is, quote, not an Xbox Game Pass to avoid players who are assuming it will be after the last two. Yeah, because Xbox changed it now to where they cut the price of Game Pass, but you have to pay for the new Call of Duty. And their sales are probably going to be the same, by the way. Because nobody's going to... Their player count numbers are going to be lower, but their sales are going to be the same. Genuinely, who is watching this shit other than Indians? That's a wrap on One Piece. Here's the thing. One Piece is all right. It's just the second season, like, I don't know. I just haven't finished it. There's something compelling just sort of missing sometimes, right? Everybody it almost feels like they're afraid to be themselves as the characters. Like, it's a little weird. You're waiting for the shoe to drop on some of these characters. The problem with watching a Bollywood movie is having this horrible craving to eat chicken curry. I've never had that craving ever. All car games have smelly players. I believe that. I mean, I don't play card games. I am smelly, though. So, I empathize. LeBron telling Bronny he can't move with him when he leaves the Lakers. They expect to find one of us in the crash, brother. Milat Kuros, DSA, wants to abolish ICE and give full citizenship to every illegal migrant over 20 million. She just won the primary in Colorado. I mean, okay, but she's like one. So don't elect a whole bunch of Democrats on that, but yeah. Cyberpunk 2077 is back in Steam's top sellers with almost 3 times the players after the new Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2 trailer. Hopefully we get some new in-game content to tie in the show. I mean, that's kind of cool. Listen. I don't think that I would stream Cyberpunk, but I don't think I can stream Cyberpunk because too much wild shit happens in Cyberpunk. There's just too many titties flying all the time. Even though Lethal is apparently doing full streams where Lethal Lightning is doing full streams where like he's playing Gwent in Witcher and he's like full on frontal nudity like Gwent cards. I don't know how he's getting away with that, but I don't know. Read the mangas, avoid the live action. In One Piece. I gotta be honest with you. I'll probably just not like invest in One Piece. Like, I get why I watched probably the first like 10 or 12 episodes of One Piece, like the anime. It was good. It was okay. It's the art style. I can't get over the art style. It's very like outlandishly cartoony and it's kind of ugly. And I can't get into it. The stories are good. And honestly, like the live action doesn't compel me really either. So like I don't know. It's one of those things that was like, when I knew nothing about anime, One Piece was really good. But then I found other animes. And yeah. So listen, I platinum Cyberpunk back when they had game breaking bugs and it put me off playing it ever again. Well, I will tell you that it has gotten a lot smoother and it's a lot better. Trust me, Jack of all casuals. I was playing on Xbox. Did I have my Xbox Series X by then? I want to say it was the X. I was playing on Xbox One, and it looked like Doom. It looked like OG Doom. That's how bad the graphics were. And it was horribly optimized. It was unplayable. It was the most unplayable game that had launched on Xbox One that I was really, really looking forward to since Watch Dogs Legion before that. Because Watch Dogs Legion, I remember Watch Dogs Legion released, and like, I would play it, and then like, I remember that it would start up, and then I would be able to play it for like 5 minutes, and then it would crash. And then they fixed the bug, right? And then I booted it up, and then it would start, and I would start and get into the game, and then immediately it would just crash. And it would immediately crash every time. It was an overheating issue that was being caused. And then there was a time where like an hour into gameplay, it would crash. And it took like 6 months, 6 to 9 months for Watch Dogs Legion to be fixed fully. I still like the game though. I'm in the vast minority, I'm sure, on that one. But yeah, Cyberpunk, I want to talk about games that release broken and buggy. And without, here's the thing. It would be one thing to release broken and buggy, but Cyberpunk 2077 released massively broken and buggy, pretty much incapable of running on last gen consoles. And they cut a fuck ton of content from the game. It's not the same game that we were promised. And let's be real honest here. Cyberpunk 2077 is not what they sold us as like, oh, it's Witcher, but in a cyberpunk universe. No. What Cyberpunk 2077 is a Far Cry game with dialogue mechanics. That's what it is. It's a Far Cry game with cyberpunk, with dialogue mechanics. I will say, it's my favorite Far Cry game, but that's what it is. It's a Far Cry game. With some RPG elements, mostly dialogue mechanics. I was playing the PS4 version disc on the PS5, and it still freezes or crashed every 30 minutes to an hour. Not even Phantom Liberty or Edge Runners brought me back. That's fair. I mean, like, you don't want to play it, don't want to play it. But I will say, it runs. It finally, on the Xbox Series X that I have now, it finally, just about a year or two ago, actually felt and looked like the cyberpunk that, like, we were promised. Or at least closer to that. What the trailers showed us it was supposed to be. So, yeah. One of the last few games, I think, new games, by the way, that I think had massive cultural impact, regardless, by the way. 1 year ago today, Sacha Baron Cohen made his MCU debut as Mephisto. Damn, don't remind me, man. They fucking wasted Mephisto on Ironheart. To this day, I'm convinced this headline that best sends up Scotland. I kicked a burning terrorist so hard in the... Fuck. Critical drinker. James, we did that already. 100% the people calling Millie Alcock ugly. I don't think... See, here's the thing. I don't think Millie Alcock is ugly. I think she's just very unique looking. And that uniqueness to her look was used heavily against her by a cinematographer that apparently hated her. Because he makes her look so ugly in so much of the Supergirl movie. Like, if you go look at it. So... Rockstar Games is so smart that it get. I don't think. I think we're reading a little bit too much into that. Josh, the editor, is wild. Microsoft cancel is saying the Jeff Keighley. Yeah, he's doing Wolverine. Ninja Theory Close Games. Fake Wizard. The near term, some routine tasks. In the near term, some routine tasks like coding and debugging will fall back to Opus 4.8. So Fable is not back. Claude Fable 5 will be available again globally tomorrow. After the series, production blah blah blah. Huh. 1 year ago today, Bethesda was with... He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Supergirl will be on streaming services before Spider-Man Ready today. Yes, probably. Sean Layden says it's a mistake for Sony to pull games from PC, which confirms Sony has pulled their plans to keep porting games to PC. So you PC gamers can stop port begging. That's an interesting... That's an interesting take to have, Porter Rock. I don't know. I feel bad for what I did to this dude. Last year was the absolute legend. Last year, there was an absolute legend called Sungran Studios. Sungran rose prominence after like 3 videos of his got reacted by Asmongold. The first got like 30,000. Got him to like 30,000. The second 60. And the third like 100. The legend would go on making videos advocating for gamers until a fateful day that Nintendo announced the Switch 2, its prices, its policy around the game key cards at $80, blah, blah, blah. This is when Sungran broke. His raging new fandom wanted him to tear into Nintendo, but his heart wouldn't allow it. So he began posting crazy shit to lower his views and subscriber numbers, intent on to lose all they had gained and return to his quaint little viewer base who just wanted to listen to him telling stories or playing guitar. This year we have a new legend doing even more retarded things. His name is Yorch Torch. I can only hope he rises to the same level of entertainment. I don't know why we dunked on Yorch Torch there. I mean, I'm for it, but I don't know why we dunked on Yorch Torch there specifically. Yeah. Poor fucking Sungran Studios. Like, he got just absolutely destroyed by fucking... I feel bad for what I did. Yeah. Fratanga made videos about this guy, basically exposing him. And it kind of broke him. And that's why you see what we have today. By the way, this guy is not guiltless. By the way, Sungran Studios, as he used to be called, also was like trying to pose like he was somehow involved in the games industry that he wasn't. And he was talking about how he was going to make like a game a week, which is impossible for an entire year. All right, guess the timing. All right, guess the timing is appropriate. Who was the best Superman? Reeves. Easy. Work is continuing as planned. Not a screenshot. Not since the screenshot since its announcement 5 years ago. Yeah, this game ain't ever coming out. I expect them to go dark in less than a year. Yeah, exactly. Phoenix Press is right. Yeah. Man, Division 3 is going to pop the fuck off now that Destiny is done. I'm not sure we're going to get a Division 3 Adam Krigler. Adam Krigler is a massive marathon fan. Let's put it that way. That humiliation can never be eased. What? He's jumping rope. Okay. Okay. Oh, is it supposed to be like they're out of breath? And like he's just... Okay. He's probably like some kind of Kenyan fuck. Reporter J.D. Vance said in an interview he thinks he's going to run for a while. She's probably going to run. Silence Brand. Update. Micron have issued the following statement to RPS. Micron disagrees with allegations and complaint. Oh yeah, so like Micron and two other like producers of RAM are being sued in a class action lawsuit. So there's that. Which is good. Keep them on their toes. Even though they're going to go on doing what they're doing, which is bottlenecking the RAM supply. So, actually, I think we're going to stop there. 2 hours and 35 minutes in. Yeah, it's been a good show. Hope you guys have had a good night. I will have more shorts and videos out tomorrow. Got kind of a big day ahead of me tomorrow. Lots of housework I need to catch up. Baby is going to be here anytime soon. Could be fucking tomorrow for all I know. But hope you guys have had a really good night. Like I said, more videos and shorts and stuff out tomorrow. Really appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Probably, I might try to do a gaming stream sometime this week. Probably not. We'll just see how it goes. If I do, it'll be a pop-up stream. So yeah, that's kind of the the plans going forward. After baby is born, then maybe we'll get back into having regular gaming streams. And planning that for Thursdays again. Time is a Circle. They have RAM controversy in the early 2000s. I mean, yeah, but like to this magnitude, I think it's a little different. Just make sure baby Lord Botha doesn't pee on you. I mean, the first one didn't. And it's a girl, so they typically have better control, I feel. They don't have a cannon attached to them between their legs. It's just shooting everywhere. It's kind of just one downward motion. So, yeah, it'll be a good time. It's going to be a stressful time, but a good time. Anyway, that's all for tonight. Hope you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you again later.